Well, Erika was a figure skater. She worked at U.S. Figure Skating, and I met her when she was working there because she was doing some really cool stuff for U.S. Figure Skating to work with their local clubs to improve their website, to improve their recruitment to learn to skate. And so we started using her, after seeing some of her presentations, we started using her with USA Hockey to help our clubs, to work with their websites, to work with their digital marketing, because I think a big challenge we have is how do we get outside of our little bubble of our hockey friends, and if we don't have hockey buddies that have kids, then how do we reach out in a community that might meet our demographics, but we don't know how to reach them because we're not very good at the marketing and the advertising side of things, and our clubs really need help. As you know, a lot of the club sometimes are the board members of clubs are those parents that their kid have been in the club for a while. They might be, parents of U14, U16-year-olds. They have experience. They kind of know their way around. And then the focus isn't necessarily on that growth and recruitment of the new generation of kids. We have to keep that pipeline filled so that we have long-term sustainability with our clubs. So that's why Erika's here. She's awesome at this, and I really appreciate her being here, taking the time. And so with that, I'll turn it over to you, Erika. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. Can you guys, if I stand down here and the presentation's up there, does that work for y'all? I'm kind of short. So, okay. Hopefully that works. Okay, cool. One caveat before I start, I have American English words in here, so behavior, organization, color, words like that are going to be spelled differently than how you're used to seeing them, so I apologize for that. Program is spelled differently. And I'm also not a graphic designer, so these are not the most beautifully designed slides, but hopefully you get the point. So I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about me. Uh-oh, maybe I need to stand more over here. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Cool. That's me when I was a gingerbread girl in an ice show in 1994. I skated ever since I was a little kid, and I kind of quit skating around high school into college, but still sort of kept up with the sport, would go a little bit. I never played hockey, but I wish I tried because I feel like that would have been a great adventure for me. I studied abroad at Cambridge University. I went to Gonville and Keys College there for a semester, which was really fun. I brought my skates, and I skated a total of 2 times in Peterborough. I worked in arts marketing after college. So after college and grad school, I ended up working in museums, doing a lot of marketing for museums, theaters, arts and public places programs. And while I was doing that, I served as the volunteer president at a local figure skating club in Fort Collins, Colorado. And I was invited to a seminar just like this with U.S. Figure Skating called Governing Council. U.S. Figure Skating's pretty big, so it was about 1,000 people in attendance, but I sat next to the CMO at U.S. Figure Skating at the time, and at the end of the seminar, he basically offered me a job as the director of marketing. And so I came, well, not really. I had to interview with Susie, Kevin's wife, and she was tough, but she gave me the seal of approval, and then I got the job at U.S. Figure Skating. I worked there for about 5 years before moving into the CMO role at USA Cycling, and now I'm the COO over there. So I actually oversee membership development events, so everything from grassroots events up to national championships, marketing communications, as well as IT. So IT is really important to work with membership because it helps keep that whole flywheel moving. And then I still skate, but I'm not a good cyclist. So I've done 1 bike race in my entire life. I won because I was the only person in my age group, so I'm an undefeated cyclist right now, which is my sort of claim to fame. But we're going to actually start this off with a case study on millennial women. So right now, all of you are going to take off whatever invisible hat you have on, and you are going to be a millennial woman, let's say age 38 in this scenario right now. So you're a 38-year-old woman participating in what I'm going to tell you. So you are wanting to run. You've decided that you are going to be a runner. You set your New Year's resolutions. And right now, you want to do a half marathon, but you actually find yourself just jogging on the path at home. So you are jogging outside, leisurely jog, you are sweating, you have your AirPods in, you're breathing, you're dying. And 4 women pass you in their run club shirts, and they're just zooming by, and they're talking about the beer they're gonna have afterwards, and they're so excited, and they're so chatty. And you notice the back of their shirts say, Sheffield Half Marathon Divas. And you're like, oh, I wanna be a diva. And you feel inspired to join the club. What do you do in that moment? Someone shout out what you're gonna do. What are you going to do? Google it. Correct. I am sweating. I can't breathe. I am not going to run up to these women that zoom past me and be like, "Hi, can I join your club? This sounds fun." No, I'm going to probably go home, or as soon as I finish my run, or maybe during the run, I'm actually going to ask Siri to Google how to join the Divas, or I'm just going to Google Sheffield Run Club Divas. So this is the scenario I'd likely come up with. So first I'd search the name of the club on Google. I'd arrive, hopefully, if the club has a decent website, at the Divas website. I'd snoop around and figure out everything that I need to learn about joining that club. I'd evaluate some sort of offering that they'd hopefully put in front of me to learn about joining. If it seems good, I'd make a decision based on a few facts, and then I'd take action and register if there's a way to do that. So I'm going to talk about a few key points along the way and places where I might drop off. So if I arrive at the website, great, you want me to get there. If I type in Sheffield Run Club Divas or Sheffield Running Divas and I can't find a website after maybe 30 seconds, I'm probably going to abandon the process. Next, I'm going to snoop around. And by snooping around, that's just me looking at photos, feeling like this is legit, finding out some sort of reputation with the club as I'm just navigating my way through the site. Doesn't have to be fancy, but I am just making sure that the women I saw running on the trail match what I'm seeing on this website, and it looks like fun. As an adult, I still look at fun, and does that look like fun? Then I'm going to evaluate whatever offering is in front of me. So hopefully this club is poised to have me join as a member, and I'll do that. But I'm going to show you two different types of offerings based on what I often see on club websites of any sport. So on the left, if it's this tiny font, it says, membership dues are $240 a year. We meet Thursdays at 7 p.m. You run in pacing groups. Makeup runs are available Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Have questions, email us. That is, how friendly do you feel like that is? Does that make you want to join? Not really. It's kind of intimidating. Here's the second one. Preparing for the Sheffield Half Marathon and not sure where to start? Your first run is on us. Join us for a no-drop training run at 7 p.m. on Thursday, July 9th. We'll help you find your pace, improve your form, and choose a training plan that gets you to the finish line. Reserve your free trial run today. It might be the exact same cost, the exact same program, but somehow I feel like, oh, this is an easy step for me to jump into the pool versus committing right away to something big. So which offer would you choose, the one on the left or the one on the right? Okay, hopefully the one on the right. As a millennial woman, you're choosing the one on the right. Okay, after the offering, I'm going to make a decision. So I'm going to show you another example of what I often see on club websites of any type of sport. So Club 1, it says Tuesdays at 7 p.m. and through the end of 2024, and it is 2026. So I am seeing a 2024 schedule on a 2026 website. I can't check the vibe because there's no photos on the website. Maybe there's one photo of someone like drinking a smoothie, but there's no pictures of people actually running. It's 15 minutes from my house, which is close, which is good. It's only $5 a month, but I don't know anything about the structure of how this works. And then I see no social proof that makes me want to join this club. I can't tell if it's fun. On the right, there's a schedule. It says Thursdays at 7 p.m., and we don't have plans on Thursdays at 7 p.m. So you as a millennial woman, you don't have plans. The vibe check, there's 3 testimonials from participants and tons of photos. This looks like a blast. It's 15 minutes from my house. The cost is a free intro session, but then it's $20 a month and I get a free t-shirt. So this is $240 a year versus $60 a year. But I know the structure. There's 5 pacing groups led by designated pacers, and if your group is too fast, you can drop back to the next group, and then afterwards everyone goes and drinks a beer at Kevin's pub. Kevin's local pub. Which one would you choose? Probably the one on the right. Even though it's more expensive, sometimes the value can shine through with just a little more information. So maybe the club on the left actually has the exact same benefits as the club on the right. They just don't talk about them, and they don't share them, and they don't showcase the fun. So I'm probably going to choose the one on the right, and my money's going to go to the club that is more expensive. And then hopefully, after that, if I like what I'm seeing, I'll take action. I'm going to show you 2 more scenarios that I often see with clubs. The first one says something like registration for the fall season starts September 1st, and it's June 27th. You can't tell if you can join midway through the season because there's no other information there. There's no other information other than a giant registration button. I click the registration button, and it says start an account, and it wants me to sign my life away and give you every detail of where I live, my phone number, my social security number. I don't know if you have that here in the UK, but something like that. You have to give all your information, and I still don't even know if I can join this program because it says registration opens September 1st. But then this other option as register for your free trial run. I know that a free trial run takes place the first Thursday of every month at 7 p.m. I know exactly where to arrive, when to arrive, what to expect. They're going to put me in a pacing group. And then I can join for a beer afterwards at the pub. So this just seems easy and approachable. I'm probably going to click that registration button versus this one here on the left where it's kind of vague and uncertain. So that's me walking you through a case study of what someone might encounter in the wild. What do you think would happen if you're still a millennial woman, you're doom scrolling and you're drinking coffee? So it's 9 a.m., you're doom scrolling, you're drinking coffee on a Saturday morning, and you come across an article about a woman who wanted to do a race. She trained for a half marathon and managed to do it within a 3-month time frame. She dropped a dress size, made a new circle of friends, and she's having the time of her life, and you're feeling inspired to join. What are you likely going to do at 9 a.m. when you're doom scrolling? You're probably going to do the same thing you did before, and you're going to Google, but you might Google run clubs near me and choose the best option. And hopefully, the Divas has their information front and center so you can find it when you click through the search results, and you can go through that exact same purchase path. Scenario 3, slightly different. You're still doom scrolling. It's now Sunday, and you're doom scrolling, drinking coffee again. But instead of coming across an article, you see something pop up in your feed, and it's a video about a woman who had that exact same experience, and you're feeling really inspired. And you decide to click on that little link at the bottom of the video that says learn more or join the club, and hopefully you click that video, and again, you wind up on the Divas website. You snoop around, evaluate the offering, make the decision, and take action. And actually, that video was an ad, but you probably didn't know it because the content was so engaging when you're scrolling through social media. You didn't realize it was an ad, and you just clicked on it. So what happens in step 2 of all 3 of these scenarios? I wind up on the website. So even though I saw something in the wild and I Googled it, I saw an article and I Googled it, and then I clicked on an ad. In all 3 scenarios, I wind up on the website as step 2 in this process, and then the rest of that process is fully dependent on how good that website is. So that's why I like to say that your website is your most important digital marketing asset, and your website on the mobile device is actually stronger than anything else, because in all 3 scenarios, I used my phone. I was running, or not I did, you did, because you're the millennial woman. You're running, and afterwards when you're stretching, you look it up on your phone. You're doom scrolling while drinking coffee on Saturday. You look it up on your phone, and you're doom scrolling while drinking coffee on Sunday, and you click the link on your phone. So in all 3 scenarios, you go to the mobile website. How many of you make your website edits based on what you're seeing on your phone? All right, how many of you have websites? Okay, that's good. I'm seeing some websites. How many? Actually, raise your hand if you don't have a website. Okay, cool. We'll talk about tomorrow. I will put up a slide as to like good areas where you can quickly and easily make a website affordably, so we can make sure that you can get some websites up and running. Cool. Okay. Why did I talk to you about millennial women? Let's discuss why I did that. So we're going to look at a scenario comparison. Are there in the wild scenarios where people might be inspired to join your club? I would say yes. So if someone goes to a public skate, maybe someone sees a hockey game on TV, maybe there's an article about a famous UK hockey player. There are options where someone would in the wild encounter something. Is there exciting content about hockey that exists? There is. People come across this all the time. People show up at games, they talk to their friends, they see articles in the paper, they know that the sport exists. So it is out there, and interest does exist. So someone is apt to doom scroll, find something, and Google. And then, are you capable of creating an inspiring video for social media and paying £25 a month to promote this? Might sound a little scary, but if you got a playbook for it, could you do it? Hopefully, I think you could do it. And then the last one is your target audience a woman? I want you guys to answer yes if you think it's a woman. Yes if you think it's a man. Yes if you think it's a kid age 8 to 14. 8 to 19? Is it all of them? Okay. I want to ask you, who's generally making the decisions in the household for families of kids age 18 and under? Is it those 2 kids on the ice? No, it's this lady. It's mom. Mom's generally the one that is making the household decisions, shuttling the kids to and from things. Mom's generally the one keeping the schedule. Dad has usually a big role in that, but generally studies show that mom is the one who's making the purchasing decisions for the household. So if little Johnny wants to play hockey, mom is generally the one Johnny's going to go to and say, I want to play hockey. Or if mom comes across an inspiring article and is brought to tears about how this could instill perseverance in her child, mom's going to make that decision, and mom's going to go to the website, and mom's going to pay the money. So mom is generally your target audience here. Studies in the US show that a lot of youth sports, the moms are age 30 to 55. They live within 30 miles of your facility or training place. They want what's best for their children, and they spend 6 to 8 hours on their phone every single day. Last night, some of us were looking at our screen times on our phone, and we realized that we were spending a lot of time on our phones, between 6 and 8 hours a day, just on our cell phones. Moms tend to do that, and it's between 6 and 8 hours a day. So if you want to get in front of the mom who's making the purchasing decisions for the household, you want to do it somehow through a mobile device, or you want to make it easy to access through a mobile device. So we're just going to quickly recap what we talked about in this case study. There's kind of 3 ways people enter your marketing funnel. There's in the wild, when you see something. So I saw Run Club shirts. You might see someone wearing a hockey shirt. You might go to a public skate and see a banner. You might see a poster. You might see a brochure. You might see a hockey club t-shirt that a kid is wearing. But there's options in the wild where people will see things. Next one is third-party content. I might see an amazing article about hockey or playing hockey and feel inspired to join that way. And then the last one is guided inspiration, which is actually ads. So ad placement that you are paying for to make people think this idea popped into their head, but you actually stuck it there on purpose. Once you go through these funnels, every single person winds up on your website. You don't want to send them off to different places. Everyone winds up on your website, and your website is your most important marketing asset in this scenario. Your offer is an approachable on-ramp into the sport. You have to make sure it feels approachable and easy and isn't scary. Cost, it doesn't equal value. I was going to pay $240 a year versus just $60 a year for a run club because more information was available, and it just seemed like a better value that was worth my time. And then your target audience for youth sports is millennial and Gen X women. It is not the kids themselves. The kids might want to play it, but the person you have to convince and sell to is mom. All right, so now, knowing that information, this is what I would set up as a simple growth engine for your club. And I know that most of you are volunteers or have a volunteer army, and you are running on volunteer time, so you don't have tons of resources and time to make this happen. So this is sort of the situation I had set up when I worked at a figure skating club and I was the president there. I had a full-time job. I skated. I was involved in junior league, which is kind of like a random women's group, and I probably spent maybe an hour to 2 hours a week in my role as president of the club, and I also did most of the marketing for the club. But you would have a 3-step process. You'd have marketing campaigns that would get people in the door and funnel them to your website. You'd have a website with a simple journey that makes sure people can get from beginning to end. And then you'd have on-ramp education and programming that just helps people get started with the sport, regardless of how they wind up on your website or what point they are in the year. And these are the people that would run this. So you'd have a marketing lead, you'd have a committee of 3, a marketing lead, a webmaster, and an education and programming lead. So your marketing lead is just gonna come up with the campaigns that would help drive people to the website. Usually you probably have someone involved in your club who does marketing or is in a similar capacity. They can take that over. A webmaster, this can be a very simple Squarespace website, something super easy and turnkey, just making sure you update it with the right content regularly. And then your education and programming lead is making sure that you have the right funnel set up to help get people involved. Mark's presentation right before this is fantastic because that's a great example of what type of programming you could do just to keep filling that funnel. And then here's the job of each of these people. The marketing person is basically targeting mom, so they're getting mom to make those decisions for the kid, to decide to come to the website. The webmaster is educating mom and filling mom in on all the benefits of whatever program you have. And then the programming person is convincing mom that this is the right sport for their child and the right opportunity via whatever way you want to convince mom. Does it look fun? Does their kid have a great time? Are you giving mom all the information up front? How do you convince mom? So that's the job of the programming lead. And here's what I would probably do as a actual programming strategy. So this is if I ran let's say I work for a hockey club that does not run our own Learn to Play program. The program is run through the rink operator. So I would probably set up a paid social campaign with an inspiring video. We'll talk about how to set those up tomorrow. They're super easy. It sounds scary, but I promise it's easy. I create posters and brochures and put them in the arena if the arena will allow me to. Canva is a great tool for designing things with templates. It's free, it's easy, and you don't have to be a graphic designer. I'd have a table at the most popular public skate every single week with information on what is hockey, how to get involved, and what this programming step is, and capture contact information. And I'd have a table at Learn to Skate classes to get people involved and learn more too. So from that, hopefully 100 people, I'm going to say 25 people from each of those marketing initiatives every single month would want to learn more and would come to the website hoping to engage with more content. So 100 people, 25 from each of those initiatives, wind up on the website wanting to learn more. Then once I'm on the website, I just need to make sure that there's an on-ramp program or on-ramp opportunity that's super slick, right front and center, and making people excited about joining. I'd have photos and testimonials for social proof, so tons of pictures of kids smiling, having fun, out there in the ice, testimonials talking about how my child's so much better at all these other sports now because they played hockey, their balance is improved, they have so many friends, all sorts of great things. A clear list of benefits. Remember the run club that had nothing listed and you're like, this is lame, and the one that has a lot, make sure you have those benefits, and then make sure that cost, the schedule, anything that someone needs to make a decision is right there front and center as well, and that they can easily register. You don't have to sign your life away to register for an on-ramp program. And then I'm gonna say that of those 100 people who visit that website, only 20 people, so only 20% of those people are actually gonna take advantage of whatever program's there and sign up. So only 20 people of those 100 are moving forward to whatever I'm offering as a program. This program could be a quarterly Try Hockey for Free open house. It has maybe a 30-minute group skating lesson where you work with the arena to have some sort of group lesson. Then there's a hockey demonstration where some of your more skilled players are demonstrating what the sport and the game looks like. And then you're getting people to sign up to start lessons and then stay in the loop with some other off-ice hockey program, like what Mark talked about, while they're in these Learn to Skate classes. So they're building the skills off-ice while they're still taking these lessons on ice. Maybe you have a monthly Hockey 101 seminar that takes place after Learn to Skate classes or during Learn to Skate classes, so mom can learn all about hockey while her kids are taking Learn to Skate classes. And then you have a defined bridge program from Learn to Skate. So everywhere, everyone knows that when you pass level 3, you are invited to play hockey if you want. These are the skills you need. Here's your checklist. You earn this pin. You get some gloves. Something cool that makes everyone super excited to cross that bridge into hockey. So I would funnel those people in, and maybe I have 20 signups a month on the website, which makes 60 people a quarter, and maybe only 25% of those people actually end up registering, but that's 15 skaters a quarter, 60 skaters a year. 60 skaters a year joining your club seems like, in my head, a pretty good acquisition metric. If you can keep if you lose less than 60 skaters a year from your program, then you're growing. So if you can get 60 skaters in and you can make sure you keep enough so you don't lose 60 a year, then you're on a growth trajectory and moving forward. So marketing, website, programming, and just keep that funnel going. Another thing you get onto this is communication, just to keep people in the loop, keep them excited and happy. But as long as these 3 things are in place, you'll have a pretty solid growth strategy. And this is what I do on a nationwide level at USA Cycling. Same thing, same type of programming. This is what we ran at US Figure Skating, and this is what we ran at the Figure Skating Club that I oversaw in Fort Collins. So that's my simple marketing growth engine. You can systemize it. Now at the time I have left, I have like 5 minutes. I am gonna go rapid fire into some marketing tips you can use to make this thing even more powerful. And I will be fast because these are rapid fire. So the first one is what I call the golden rule of marketing. That's meet people where they are, not where you want them to be. People are on their phones. They're out at the grocery store. When people are bored and they're waiting in line, they're on their phones. People are on their phones all the time. They are not looking at posters. They're not, I don't even know if you guys have the yellow pages here, but they're not looking in the phone book for phone numbers, and they're not going and chatting with the person at the front desk, even if they're in the arena. I didn't chase after those people while running on the trail. I'm not gonna go talk to the lady at the front desk. I'm gonna go to my phone and I'm gonna Google. And that's generally what I'm gonna do most of the time. It's not 1995, so your front desk is not what you can rely on. Your mobile website is your most important asset, and that is your new virtual front desk. So here's real data from USA Cycling to prove that too. This is last week. Most of our traffic was from mobile and not desktop. But in 1995, if you had a good website, good front desk person, you made money. Right now, if you have a good mobile website, you make money. If you had a crappy, diabolical front desk person, you lost people and they went to the exit. If you have a crappy, diabolical mobile website or no website at all, you will lose people. So your website is really, really important. All right, this is a deeper one. This is a little scary. AI-powered organic search is likely the largest source of your traffic. Search engine optimization is SEO, but you should know the basics of this if you're going to have a website. Organic search, here's real data from cycling, is the #1 driver to our website. But if I'm just looking for hockey lessons in Sheffield and I type that in, search engine optimization is what's giving me those results. So I start typing in hockey le, and it already realizes in AI mode that I want hockey lessons near me. It shows me a map with the closest rink, Ice Sheffield, and it shows Sheffield Steel Dogs Ice Hockey Club, and then it gives me an AI thing telling me about that. So already AI jumped in and helped me, and that's because search engine optimization was the background driving this strategy. All this really is thinking about what words am I going to Google if I'm looking for this thing, and make sure those words are on your website in key areas. So the title, the URLs, the website copy, every picture, you can actually put text behind it, so you just want to make sure that that's where these phrases exist. And then you also want to make sure that your address is listed on Google. Acronyms are killing your SEO. Here's some acronyms for you. This is fun. So in the United States, people love to abbreviate learn to skate with LTS. What do you think happens if I Google LTS? Does anyone want to guess? Learn to swim classes show up. So many websites in the US put like, join our LTS program, or LTS classes are happening near you. And nobody knows what LTS means. It's terrible. So don't use acronyms. They are killing your search engine optimization. You should know your true competitors and how to beat them. We're not going to go into this too much, but what kind of product is ice hockey? I think sometimes we think like, oh, it's a youth sport and it's a team thing and it's an indoor environment, but really it comes down to the fact that it was what I call a leisure activity. It's what you spend your free time doing, and you spend your free time, your free money, anything discretionary doing. So according to Google, it's a leisure activity is an activity that people do during their free time for enjoyment, relaxation, or other reasons. So it can be anything. It can be video games, theater club, playing tag with your friends, football, not soccer, painting classes. It can be anything you'd spend your free time doing. So pop quiz, if ice hockey is a leisure activity, who are your competitors? Everything else, other leisure activities. So your competitors aren't other rinks, they're not figure skating, it's not public skate, it's anything else that takes up that time. So there's a company in New York City called Impacts that studies why people, and sorry, this chart's a little blurry, but why would people not choose your leisure activity? And it's because the #1 thing at the top is a preferred alternate leisure activity. So if you want people to choose your activity, you have to showcase why it's better than anything else. So that's, again, where you have to lean into the benefits. Here's some great benefits, why mom would choose ice hockey over anything else. So schedules, a venue that won't get rained out. I know there's lots of rain here. Resilience, perseverance. Think of all the amazing skills kids can learn on the ice that they're not going to learn in painting class or theater class. Think of all the skills you learn when you fall down and have to learn how to get up and dust yourself off and try again. So that's really important. So that's your marketing campaigns and your benefits you showcase. Schedules are an essential factor in decision making. Nobody wants to check back later. If I am going to go register for this run club and I go through all the steps, and then at the end it says registration starts September 1st and it's June 27th, I am not going to wait till September 1st and sign up then. I'm going to go find something else to do. So make sure that you have schedules on your website and you convey schedules. And as you can see from this chart, a reason why people didn't participate is because schedule conflicts, schedules didn't work, or there was an unclear schedule. Schedules are not great. Another thing that's important in the UK, so in Western Europe, reputation and schedule are 2 of your most important reasons why people choose to participate in a leisure activity, is the reputation and the schedule. So those are very important. In addition to that, stop obsessing over cost. We looked at the $5 run club and the $20 run club cost. If there's value with the program and people have the money to pay for it, they're not going to care about $15, $50, even $100. If it's the best program for them and it's convenient for them, they're going to participate in it. So going back to that same chart, cost is way down there at the bottom, is being too expensive, and cost also is at the bottom of this chart, showing that that is not a primary reason why people choose not to participate in certain leisure activities. You want to plot your path to conversion and keep stuff off the trail? This is your path to conversion. So that little exercise we went through, like I click on the website, I click the link, I get to the website, and here's this path I walk through. I call that your path to conversion. You're just converting someone from a stranger into a customer into a friend, and a friend into a member of your club. And it's okay to be step 2 or even step 3 in an athlete's journey. We talked a lot about rink operators running programs. It's okay. And this is tiny font. I'll tell you what this says. It's okay for it to be that later step in the program. So right here I have a little story. So Johnny attends public skate and loves skating fast. Mom thinks he'd love hockey, sees a QR code at the rink, scans the poster, and immediately sees that there's a hockey club and looks at the programming options. But the website informs Mom that Johnny must pass level 3 before signing up for hockey. So he can't join right away. But instead, there's a program called the Ice Hockey Explorers Club, or the Off-Ice Hockey Explorers Workshop coming up next month, and there's a parent track for Mom. So even though Mom couldn't sign Johnny up for hockey, there is something she can sign up for right there on the website. She can give her email address. You can now contact her because you have her email address. And Johnny can attend his Learn to Skate classes. Mom can attend this Hockey 101 workshop. And then Johnny can attend this off-ice workshop that allows him to track his skills that he's learning on the ice. So soon he can graduate and be part of the hockey program. So he's checking off all his little skills. And then finally he finishes level 3. He completes his little checklist and he's ready for hockey. And Mom also feels super educated and informed because she participated in Hockey 101 workshops while Johnny was in Learn to Skate. So you can guide someone through this journey and keep them involved even though they're not ready for the hockey program yet. Don't F up the last part of your journey. Never leave a ball in someone else's court. So here's some common errors I see on websites. So outdated schedules and class listings, no option to register, flyers promoting last season, or like all this schedule coming soon business. You can stop that by having registration alerts clearly. I'm going to say that like 5 times. Registration alerts are some sort of easy programming someone can always sign up for. Make sure someone can always take action. Never make them come back to you because you lose the power to contact them. And then the last thing, I know I'm running a little late on time here, is you want to do a quarterly website audit on your phone and not a computer. So, Kevin, do I have 2 minutes for people to do a quarterly website audit? Okay. All right, cool. 10 minutes? Okay, all right. You guys get 2 minutes. So I want everyone to take out their phones. So you get to play on your phone for the next 2 minutes. You put your millennial woman hat on and you're playing on your phone. Okay, you're going to search, and I don't know if this is what people would say, but what phrase, if you knew nothing about ice hockey and you're like, I want to get my child into ice hockey, what phrase would you look for? I put kids ice hockey. I don't think I would put like entry-level kids ice hockey youth programming or something like that. What would you actually type into Google? I want you to type that into Google, and I want you to put the name of your city after it. And you want to see if your program or your website shows up, if you have a website, something shows up in the search results when you type this in. If you don't show up in the search results, you do not get a point. All right, I'm going to move on to the next one, because hopefully you either saw if it showed up or you didn't. Now you're just going to go to your website if you have a website. So when you get to your website, I want you to see if you can easily navigate to basic information about the program. This is me when I was looking at the Run Club, understanding that it starts at 7 p.m. There's a flagship run the first Thursday of the month, and I need to be there at 6:45. Things are structured in different pacing groups. My first run is free, and I can learn about joining afterwards, and I can have beer after. This is just the basic structure, what it is, selling me on the concept. Maybe there's some basic information about cost, but what is youth hockey? How do I get involved? Is that on your website? And if it is, if there's anything that gives me information about what it is, and it's not like, our next season starts September 1st, call Sharon for more information, then you get a point. So it has to have basic information that makes me excited to learn more. Then the third one is, do you convey basic benefits of the program in a way that mom will appreciate and understand? So I guess that's kind of that same thing here. So I'm going to give you 2 points for that section. 1, if you can find the information. 2, is it good? So this is that information good, and does it actually help support what your program is? Then from there, can you find a schedule? Anything that tells you, wow, I'm really excited about signing my kid up for ice hockey lessons. I'm here on the website. Can I sign up for lessons? Can I sign up to play in the league? Is there learn to play programming? Is there off-ice programming? Is there any sort of schedule that I can find that will help me get involved? And can I tell when that is, where that is, how to get involved? And then the last part is the ball in my court. Can I take action and do something? It's not check back on September 1st or sign up on June 1st, but it's June 27th and no one updated the information. Or is it just convoluted where there is no way to sign up? I will say that I was looking at the Sheffield Ice Hockey Program's website, and there was a click join as a member button, and I clicked it, and it sent me to a contact us page, but didn't tell me what to do from there. So I'm like, am I supposed to email Judy and say, hi, I want to be a member of the club and sign Johnny up for lessons? So I think sometimes you have to think about, what does someone need when they're ready to join as a member? So make sure a ball is in your court to do something. And so those are your 5 questions. So I know not everyone's done, but did anyone get all 5 points? Oh, I see 1, 2, a few. What about 4 points? Did anyone get 4 points? Did anyone get 3 points? Nice, 3 points. All right, did anyone have 0, 1, or 2 points? Okay, cool. I think these are just 5 basic things you can do. Make sure if you don't have a website, that's the first basic thing. But from there, here's the 5 steps I'd like you to do to make sure that your website can support that journey. So notice I did not talk about social media at all today. I did not talk about other paid advertisements you need to do. I didn't talk about press releases. Nothing like that. It's all about your website, because that's where people are going to land when they're thinking about joining your program, and that's what's going to usher them through into becoming a member. So your website's very important. Cool. That's it. Thank you. Any questions? Comments? Applause? Sorry, you were going to applause and I stopped you. Okay, yeah. Okay. Cool. Any questions? Yeah, I saw you had a question.
Is the website more important than social media in terms of reach? Because I would have thought social media was play a bigger part in attracting people.
Social media is good for reach, but then a lot of times social media is not good for that conversion. So we're going to use the Run Club example. I might be running and I see that there's this Divas program. I'm like, cool, and I Google it and I find this social media feed. But on the feed, I just see pictures of people. I see, like, join us on this day. There's not a lot of clear information, and a website feels a lot more like, almost like that virtual front desk. And social media is a lot more like just an ongoing feed of information. So you want something anchored where everyone can be directed to. So social media is better than nothing, but I would say a website is equally important, if not more important. Yeah?
What would you recommend in terms of updating the website frequency? Like every quarter you said to audit it. Is it important to keep updating like every week?
I would say, no, I think images you can update maybe twice a year, once a year. The only things you want to make sure you update regularly are your schedule. So if your schedule changes or your cost changes. So if your basic offer to someone is changing, make sure that that changes, and make sure that someone can always take action when they're on your website. So they have to be able to register for something, provide you with an email, something, so you have the ball in your court and you can contact them. So I'd say probably once a quarter. If you have a quarterly programming cycle and you have new things coming out each quarter, then. But if you have new things coming out each month, then I would do that. But make it turnkey and easy, so it's easy to know I only update this one page. So once you get everything established, it should be like an hour to update the site. Any other questions? Yeah.
Sorry, just one more. Manchester, we put our results on the website from the games, but it's not updated often. And I've had reports from people when they Googled it and said, well, you've not played a game since March because your results were last updated in March, because it's all voluntary.
Yeah, the question was, if we have results on our website and we don't update them frequently, is it worse to have outdated results that aren't updated versus not having results at all? And if it's outdated, people are going to assume that there's no games, and that could even be more damaging for your reputation. So I'd either find a simpler and more streamlined way to update results, or not have it there. Or I would assign it to, like, I don't know, some kid. Like, have someone who's on the team who's really proud of their results or wants to showcase that. They're like, assign one person and that is their job, and they spend 30 minutes a week doing this or something. Make it super, super simple and easy. Because a lot of times things don't happen because the process is too convoluted. So if you can simplify the process, you can simplify that. Any other questions? Cool. I'll tell you, at USA Cycling, we are historically bad at updating results, and it's because we made it too cumbersome. We had this spreadsheet with like 30,000 different columns, and we realized that we had to simplify this process. And now results, because we'd have all of our race directors after a race upload the results, and they weren't doing it because they were too overwhelmed with the spreadsheet and the rules they had to do. So now we created like a post-event concierge service where you can send your results file to our staff puts it in and uploads it, and it happens now. So we had to simplify the process. It took a little more work on our side, but now we're getting that data in there. So see what the breakdown is in the process and see if you can try to fix that. Yeah. There are. So there are platforms that, oh yeah. So you want to know if there's like a scheme for different, like an organization that kind of has turnkey websites for clubs instead of clubs having to design their own websites. And there are. So you can choose platforms that, or tech companies that would have those platforms. There are also ones that are basically integrate with a national federation. So at USA Cycling, we use a platform that's actually based here in Sheffield, where all of our membership records are in one spot, and a club can actually have their membership like cycle through our site. So someone pays for their $150 annual USA Cycling membership through the club, and then the portion of it that goes to us is automatically siphoned off to us, and then the other portion stays with the club. So there's different tools like that. Or you could create, I think Squarespace has templates where you can then farm that out to different regional clubs. Any others? Great. All right, well, thank you. And tomorrow I'll talk about social media, email, and the strategies that can pipe into the rest of this communication strategy.